Tuesday, Plus Sports on PlusTvAfrica. Welcome on the show. My name is Wale Scott. Wow. And the DD has finally come. We take on the Pharaohs of Egypt, Mukael.
Yes. We've been building up to this for a while now, and it's finally here. We're going to finally see what, pass or fail, one way or the other. We're going to see how well the Nigerian national team is prepared for
People have spoken. Femi Raji, the spokesperson of the Super Eagles, spoke on the show yesterday, and he said, we're not playing against Mo Salah. We're playing against the Pharaohs of Egypt. Love it or leave it, though. Mo Salah is 3 players in one. We are playing against Mo Salah.
Yes, we see
but Mo Salah says Nigeria actually has a chance of winning it. He's scared of us. I think he's just being modest, though. He's just being modest. He says
probably wants to lift the pressure off his shoulders and the shoulders of the Pharaohs, make it a more evenly pressured match.
Well, he says he knows Wilfred Ndidi very well. He says he knows Kelechi Iheanacho very well, Olai not very well, and they play together in the English Premier League, and they are fantastic players.
Yes.
And they should stop making it look like it's all about Mo Salah. But it is about Mo Salah, though.
It's all head games.
Welcome on the show, Victor Godfrey, all the way from Douala, Cameroon.
Thank you for having me, Wale. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're thankful for Johnny Mercies. You had a 5-hour journey to Douala yesterday.
Yes, I did, from Yaoundé, which was, of course, where the first 2 fixtures, or first 4 fixtures took place. One at the Olympic Stadium and the other one at the older stadium, the bigger, what I'll call their national stadium, which they said was built in 1972. So after those 2 games, I had to take a long transit back from Yaoundé to Douala. But like you mentioned, thank you for joining me. There's another match at Japoma Stadium not far from here, which I will be going to after this show.
How is the atmosphere in Cameroon?
Well, it's what you'd expect. As a matter of fact, during the opening ceremony on Sunday, my goodness, it was from literally, before we got to Yaoundé, even when we left Douala, when we got to Yaoundé, the entire capital was just filled with so much excitement. The fans, everybody had a Cameroonian jersey, like everybody had flags. Vuvuzela was incredibly noisy. The atmosphere was energetic. I mean, I'm even glad that Cameroon won, because I was thinking to myself, when Burkina Faso scored that first, I was like, man, if they don't win this match, we are in trouble. So it's a good thing Cameroon managed to win the game, but the atmosphere is incredible. And the good thing about the Cameroonians is that once you just tell them they're here for the AFCON, it's like, oh, welcome. They give you a hug, and there's so much joy just to have the fellow African fans and brothers to just be a part of this fantastic fiesta. Okay,
stay with us, Victor. Don't go anywhere yet. Well, you are far away from us, but don't go anywhere yet. Now, Nigerian head coach Augustine Eguavoin believes it comes down to the individual player's will, whether they ultimately play for the AFCON, but warned he only gets one country. Strikers Emmanuel Dennis, Victor Osimhen, and Odion Higalo are all staying with their respective clubs, Watford, Napoli, and Al-Shabaab. The Super Eagles failed to reach an agreement for their release. Eguavoin spoke of the battles he fought as a player to represent his country and believes the same things are happening now. Nigeria take on Egypt in the AFCON group opener. We'll be hoping Captain Ahmed Musa can score the goals to help them progress from their group in the aforementioned trio's absence. 29-year-old sounded bold and confident in saying Nigeria will win the tournament, but was less so when he said this would likely be his last AFCON.
And there's always an agreement with federations and, of course, FIFA as world organizing football body. And we know that CAF is under FIFA. But there's the regulations that says, hey, listen, when a player is invited, there is a time frame, there's a window of which a player should be released. And if they want to disrespect that, well, I don't know what that means. But however, it boils down to individual as well. You have your country to serve. You don't have 2 nations to play for. I remember way back when I was also an active player, we experienced the same things, but we fought our battle, and they had no release. They had no excuse but to release us. But then when we returned, some of us had problems, some of us didn't. But I think it's the same thing that is still playing out. There was a bit of concern if the AFCON was going to hold or not. But at the end of the day, it was settled that it will be held. And obviously, congratulations for people who battled for it to come true. So we're here. We've enjoyed every second or minute we've been here in Garoua. been very supportive, and nothing to worry about. It's nice to be here. We saw the game, started yesterday. We enjoyed it as well. And hopefully it will be a peaceful one till the end of the tournament. It's always a joyful thing for any coach to win a tournament. And in this situation, if we win it, to God be the glory, but we'll work hard to make sure we win it. But like I said earlier, it's going to be game by game. And again, to answer that question, it's not about individual. It's about the team. It's about the country. I'm not looking at personal glory to say, hey, listen, I'm going to be the coach. I'd love to have won the Nations Cup as a player and as a coach. No. I'm looking at what I can do to my country and leave a legacy. It's not about individual, it's a collective thing, sir.
Thank you very much. I think my first AFCON was in 2013 in South Africa. We won it. So my second AFCON is in Egypt, and we end up at the third position. So I think this is my last AFCON, and inshallah, I talked to the boys that with this is the only gift that you can give to me, because this is my last AFCON, inshallah. So as you can see what the head coach say, we are ready. We are just waiting for tomorrow, and inshallah, I know that we're going to end up till the final and win the cup, because everyone knows the importance of winning the trophy. Thank you.
Okay, Victor, that was Austin Eguavoin saying that you only have one country, really. And if you choose not to play for your country like Dennis did, it's all right, it's fine. But Mohamed Musa says that Nigeria are capable of actually winning the Nations Cup. And it's his last one. He wants to leave it on a winning note.
First of all, I agree with the sentiment of Ahmed Musa, the captain of the national team, the Sparrows. I strongly believe that if we have a very good tactical game plan and tactical discipline, which has been missing in our game since the inception. I didn't watch the Nigerian team in the 80s, but I was fortunate to watch the team in the 90s until now. And we have an abundance of talent and skill and determination. We really like that tactical discipline. Like what I mean by that, like for instance, what we saw Spain do in their glory years between 2010 and 2012, when they dominated world football, and 2014 as well. So if we have a good tactical plan, yes, we can win the AFCON. For real, because I'll be very honest, I've seen the quality of football up close and personal, even those watching back at home. It hasn't been the best. It is not. You won't say, oh, this team has got my attention. Nobody has really played exceptionally good football so far. So if we can put the ball on the ground and play good football, we can. As for Emmanuel Dennis and Watford, the story, as we all know, is a bit of a sad one, because Dennis is in incredible form, and this is actually his chance, because up until now he has been, like I say, largely overlooked. So even when he was in Belgium, nobody gave him a look. Now he's in England, and he has played fantastically well for Watford. I'm surprised that Claudio Ranieri and the entire Watford team didn't give him a chance. And I felt like this would have been a chance. I mean, Osimhen is out injured. This would have been the perfect chance, but not even injured, out with COVID, as the case was. He has recovered anyway. But this would have been a chance for Dennis to really showcase himself. And guess what? The entire world is watching. I mean, we have the big superstars, Mahrez, Salah, Mane. However, imagine you win the Nations Cup with your country, you'll be catapulted to the next level. So it's really sad that he's not going to be there. I really feel bad that he's not going to be there. But they have other great strikers in the team. I know Tiafoe Awoniyi is going to look forward to showcasing his ability, and I think he's going to do a great job, in my opinion.
Mukail, do you agree with Victor when he says that Nigeria are actually capable of winning the Nations Cup? That team, this team we have here.
Yeah, so obviously on paper, the quality and depth of the squad, because we've always known that no matter what generation of Nigerian footballers we're playing, Nigerian footballers are a valuable commodity all over the world of football. And it's when they come back to Africa, that lack of tactical discipline, as Victor was talking about, it reduces them to almost mediocre players. And unfortunately, that's not what they are, especially this crop of players, because these crop of players are the most technically gifted we've ever had. The numbers, the sheer volume of footballers, because a lot of investment has gone into grassroots development of footballers over the years. Nigerian footballers have come through a lot of academies in Europe, especially in England, and now this is the time to really benefit from all of that investment. Unfortunately, that lack of tactical discipline, that lack of technical awareness on the pitch, a game plan that we can trust as a philosophy of how we play and how we're going to what we're going to fall back to, no matter how difficult or the position is, no matter how tough the terrain is, no matter how unwelcoming the fan base that we're playing against is. Unfortunately, that lack of tactical discipline has always been the base of our problems, and hopefully individual talent may carry us over the line this time around.
Amen. Now, ahead of Nigeria's versus Egypt showdown, pressure mounts in both squads. Now, the two Group D teams will face each other in the Rumde Adijah Stadium of Garoua today, January 11th. The Pharaohs, who landed in Cameroon on Saturday, are ready to start their tournament. Their captain and Liverpool superstar Mo Salah ganged his team chances and expanded on their ambition and their hopes. Now, Egypt have won the AFCON 7 times, and in comparison, Nigeria only lifted the cup on 3 occasions. But Nigerians are currently 9 places 36 above Egypt 45 in FIFA's rankings. Ahmed Musa, the captain of the Super Eagles, is also very optimistic.
AFCON is in Egypt, and we end up at the 3rd position. So I think this is my last AFCON, and inshallah, I talked to the boys that with this is the only gift that you can give to me, because this is my last AFCON, inshallah. So as you can see what the head coach say, we are ready. We are just waiting for tomorrow, and inshallah, I know that we're going to end up till the final and win the cup, because everyone knows the importance of winning the trophy.
Now, the team started their training session in Cameroon last Thursday. The last time the team played each other, the advantage went to Nigeria. Victor, you just heard Mo Salah saying we are a very dangerous team. And Ahmed Musa says, inshallah, is his last Nations Cup and he wants to leave it on a winning note. But this is going to be the biggest matchup in the African Nations Cup so far. The Pharaohs of Egypt against the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
I agree with that sentiment. That statement you made, inshallah, which is can be translated to
God willing.
Of God is, or God willing. It's been a staple of Nigerian football for so many years. I mean, I remember as a younger kid watching Nigerian coaches talk about their teams, and it's by the grace of God will win the match. Listen, religion is fantastic. It's what we all in Africa, we are very, very religious, and that's great. However, like Salah said, Egypt are a very good team. And the thing about Egyptian football, or better so, North African football, you see, their style of play has been the kryptonite to many sub-Saharan Western African teams. The likes of Ghana, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria. We all struggle, Senegal, we all struggle against teams from the north. For instance, yesterday's match, Ghana against Morocco. So what happened? Morocco beat Ghana. And that physical style of African football, or Western African football, really doesn't go well with the very technical style of the Northern Africans. The only teams that really give the Northern Africans issues, and if you even watch the previous matches, are teams from South Africa, most certainly South Africa actually. They're the only ones that their style kind of counteracts where the Northern Africans play. So if you want to go with that normal physical style and try and bully people and, shoulder to shoulder physical challenges, we might lose the game, because the Northern Africans are very good at, just one-touch football. So we need to, like Mukai said, we need to have a tactical, stick to a shape. Like this modern football has evolved beyond by the grace of God winning match. No, you have to have a tactical plan and discipline. Okay, you scored 1 goal. What is your next plan? Are you going to make a change? If you want to go for a second goal, we should know what we're going to do. I can only hope that we draw. I mean, we don't lose. I won't say draw, but we don't lose this first match. But no matter what we do, we should not lose the first game. That's my own point of view. Number one. Number two, yes, I believe that we can win it. I hope he wins it, since he has claimed that it's his last Nations Cup. And he has been a fantastic servant. Obviously, he was part of the winning team in 2013. As a matter of fact, I think he's the only one left from that generation of players. So it would be fantastic for him. He's the top goal scorer at the World Cup. So it would be great for him to lift the trophy it would be fantastic. Keshi did it, Yogo did it, so why not Musta?
Okay, now let's look at the fixtures, if we have it right now. The fixtures for today's matches. Yes, I think we have that. For today's matches, results from yesterday. These are the fixtures for today. Algeria will take on Sierra Leone. Now, Victor V6 is going to be covering that one match. Nigeria take on Egypt, and Sudan will take on Guinea-Bissau. Now, you are going to be covering the Algeria versus Sierra Leone match today. What are your expectations for that match?
Well, as a matter of fact, many Nigerians will be aware of the Sierra Leoneans because of what they did in Nigeria. They came here, they were down by 4-0, and they equalized. But the good thing about it is that if you remove the Nigeria, it's not 9, you put all in it, and the Algerians are the defending champions. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to this match because, like I said, so far so good. I've not really been impressed with the quality of play. I want to see a game whereby maybe Algeria will win like by 3 or 4 goals, which I feel they can and will. They will definitely beat Sierra Leone. It's going to be at the Jacoma Stadium. I'll actually be there live. I'll keep my fingers crossed for the national team, the Super Eagles. I'm not going to be there now, but I'm pretty sure maybe their third match I will be at Gara because it's Douala and Gara. It's quite a distance. It's taken me a couple of times take me a while to get to that point. But maybe the last good game for the Super Eagles, I should be there to witness the game live. But for now, I'll be in Jacoma, and I honestly feel that Algeria will just destroy. No offense to any Sierra Leonean watching this. I support you guys, but you stand no chance against the defending champions, and that's just it. Algeria just won the Arab Cup in Qatar last year. Just won the first ever inaugural Arab Cup in Qatar. So they are flying. They have an incredible unbeaten record. In fact, they have the best unbeaten record in African football right now. So there is no way, and I mean no way, that Sierra Leone will beat Algeria today. It's going to be
now Sudan against Guinea. The other opponents in our group, Sudan against Guinea-Bissau.
Well, I think this group couldn't have been more, in quotes, easy for Nigeria. Imagine let's say, get a win over Egypt or perhaps a draw. Sudan and Guinea-Bissau, as a matter of fact, Sudan hasn't been prominent in African football since the inception of the Nations Cup back in the 60s. So, I mean, these are the people you call minnows in football. They have no massive name. All they have is just their hearts and maybe the element of surprise. But still, you expect the national team, even if it's a training session, to still beat these two teams. So, I will go for a draw. I think Sudan and Guinea-Bissau will cancel out each other. I think for them, I think this is their only chance for a victory, in my own opinion, in our group. If you want to get 3 points, win this match today. But
okay, Victor, I'll call you later today. I want to thank you very much for joining us today. And I want to say, do not, I repeat, do not go near Limbe for safety reasons, okay? Do not go near Limbe. Okay.
Yeah, we are aware of what's going on. For sure.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, Manchester United manager Ralph Rangnick still expects more from his players after they held off Aston Villa in a 1-0 victory in the third round of the FA Cup. Rangnick praised the first half display from his team, giving special mention to his goal scorer Scott McTominay, but also to the returning Raphael Varane, who aided in United's stubborn defense against Villa's attack. The German still wants to have more control over the game after his team lacked in possession for large parts of the game. The Red Devils travelled to Villa Park on the weekend for their Premier League fixture and would have added options at the back with hopefuls Harry Maguire and Phil Jones. I don't know what to call him, but you said it last time that you think it's all politics. I didn't know where you're coming from, and now I'm beginning to see where you're coming from then. Novak Djokovic has returned to training after being released from Australian immigration detention. Now, I'll stop there. Novak Djokovic. They've called him no vaccination, Novak, whatever you want to call him. But you said something about politics being involved, and I'm beginning to believe you now.
Obviously, it sets a bad precedent for the Australian government
So first of all, allow him to come in and then detain him.
First of all, it sets a bad precedent for the Australian government, who has been bang on and consistent in trying to enforce a vaccination mandate amongst their own population and foreigners visiting the country. To allow for the world number one to come into the country, no vaccination, it sets a bad precedent for others to believe that they could do the same thing. Now, where they shot themselves in the foot was providing an exemption clause in the policy. That exemption is what Novak Djokovic was expecting to take advantage of. This whole episode has been rather unfortunate because at first it seemed like Novak wasn't going to even bother for the Australian Open. That would have been an easy get out of jail free card for the Australian government. Unfortunately, he decided to come. He decided to go to get an exemption from a physician, and that should have been enough to satisfy the requirement that the government had stated. But we could see, and I touched on this last week, there was a public backlash. There were those, after this whole scenario, there were a lot of people who supported Novak being released, who think he should be allowed in the country. But there were also a significant population who believe that he's getting out of something that they've all had to deal with, which was go through the vaccination process and in order to participate in the events. Even when we saw interviews with fellow tennis players, Australian tennis players, you could see there wasn't a lot of excitement about the idea of Novak Djokovic just waltzing into the country with an exemption. But that in itself was politics. At the very high level, at the Premier's office, at the Foreign Ministry's office, there was a lot of consideration about it. A lot of people don't want this guy to come. A lot of people want him to come.
He's defending champion. He should be there.
He should be there, unfortunately.
Marketers' reasons, whatever, television rights, whatever.
Unfortunately, Novak hasn't made it easy on the government either.
True that.
First of all, choosing not to reveal, we all know that you haven't gotten vaccination. Choosing not to reveal it is just an indication of that. He made it seem like the very act of not revealing it was a privacy concern, which it was. But the greater privacy concern was, I don't want to take the vaccination. It's my body. Okay, it's your body. Do with it as you please. But then going back and forth. There were interviews back and forth with his manager, with his lawyer, with him. There was inconsistency in the message. Are you going to be at the Australian Open or not? And there just wasn't a clear-cut answer. Unfortunately, that backclashed and rolled down the hill onto the Australian government, and they made a decision. We can't let this guy in because his presence is going to create some division, and that was a political consideration.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to leave you with tennis on the show today. When we leave, now top seeds Alexandra Bublik and Frances Tiafoe lost at the Adelaide International ATP 250. I'll leave you with that on the show. I want to say thank you, Mikhail.
Of course.
Thank you, Amotola. You always make my day. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Tayo. Thank you, Femi downstairs, the man who's making everything happen. Join us same time tomorrow, same station, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. My name is Wale Scott. Like I always advise you, at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your hearts, do some sports.